We're going to take a look at the supply category, craft supplies. I'm just going to click on the category and see what Etsy wants to show me. Looks like their categories that they consider their top categories are sewing and fiber, home and hobby, jewelry and beauty, paper, party and kids, sculpting and forming, and visual arts. Shop by interest, scrapbooking, DIY, embroidery, jewelry making, sewing, knitting. Now let's see what shows up. The supply category, I'm not going to sort by price because if you're going to participate in this category, it's a high volume game. We kind of just have to accept that. It's very interesting that there are some personalized items in the supply category. I think it's probably because they are categorizing themselves as a party supply. If I were these people, I would consider making sure that I'm in the wedding category as well. The customers for these types of items might not be looking in supplies for custom wedding favors. Here's some great ideas. This is great. They have a digital download here, plans to build a chicken coop, custom stencils, knitting patterns, palette sign, a surprise bag. This is another thing that's great to do. If you want to do a clearance or closeout type of thing with this craft supplies that you have and you have a lot on hand, it's a great way to clear the warehouse and offer customers a surprise bag for a really cheap price. It's a way to move dead inventory or dead supplies. This category also has a huge opportunity for improved photos, but a lot of these photos are just really bad. This tells me that if these bestsellers, Etsy's picks, huge opportunity, if they're doing high volume with those types of photos, imagine if you had much better photos, you could charge a premium, a lot higher sales. So the supply category is great to leverage with things that you already have. If you already have patterns for things, if you already have crystals or stickers or chain, it really is great to be able to leverage to sell and to move through things that you already have. White paper bags, yarn. And if you can get a really either good high quality or custom colors that are not just general colors sold at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, if you can find unique colors from suppliers near you or overseas, if you're able to get something slightly unique in this category that people can't just find at their craft store, you have a huge opportunity. In the supply category, I would really concentrate on B2B sales if I were you. If you're selling to another business, you can do a lot higher volume with them versus selling one thing to one customer who's doing like a DIY type of situation. Obviously, you can sell to both, but if you're trying to think of where to invest your time and which customer to choose, other businesses, jewelry making, a lot of times you be selling to other businesses in this category. So now I'm sorting by at least $50 here in the supply category. I just want to see what kind of higher price point items they might have that could be an opportunity to get in where you don't have to do such a high volume of these $2 items. If I were you, if you want to get into the supply category, I would do two things. I would look at what I have on hand that I can sell or that I can move through any dead supplies or dead inventory that you have, and I would sell it here. And then two, I would look at what resources you have in your local area, wholesalers that you can buy directly from and that you could sell on Etsy. It's really easy to test things out that way if you're buying locally because you can buy small quantities, and it's better to buy quantity one of 20 different things to put them up and test it versus having to meet a high minimum because you're ordering from someone far away. And that is what I have done in my supply category. And that's how I do over $50,000 a year in the supply category. I leverage what is around me. This gives you some ideas. Hardware. Hardware is a supply. A lot of people are doing DIY home projects. There's a lot of people right now who cannot afford to buy a home. They cannot afford to sell their home and move because whenever they sell their home, how are they going to find something they can afford to buy that's just as nice, right? A lot of people are staying put in their homes. And I think we're going to see a huge increase in home DIY projects, renovations, upgrades, because they realize we're not going to be moving for a little while until the market stabilizes, or it's not going to be the right time for a little while for us. You're going to see a lot of DIY projects. Think about all the people who might have been interested in spending money on a new house, but they can't do that right now. So what will they be spending their money on instead? Potentially home upgrades. The PDF downloads of plans to, build a piece of furniture or a shed in the backyard. That could be a huge opportunity when people are now having to decide to stay put for a little bit longer where they are. This is not a supply category. I did want to, that kind of leads me into this interior design, digital download opportunity. There's a huge opportunity here because people are not going to be moving as much, going to kind of be staying put. They want to maybe make the space that they're in a little bit nicer. A lot of times when there's instability, uncertainty in the housing market, people are more likely to want to stay put and make what they have work for them. They might say, okay, we're going to be here another 3 to 4 years. We want this to be nice. Or let's at least spend time getting it ready so that when we do sell it, we can sell it for a higher price. A lot of home renovations happen when people stop buying houses. They oftentimes start renovating more. Interior design templates and downloads could be a great opportunity. I would look at what the higher price point item are. I wouldn't necessarily focus on $10 to $25. I would filter to what is at least $20, because every time you talk to a customer, it is time and space in your head and energy and effort, and that you need to charge for that. At least $20. In the download space, Etsy has a button here. Looks like this is newer where they say add to cart. We don't see as many of the top seller, bestseller, top picks tags that we saw on the items that actually ship. There's not as much data here on what the best sellers are, but you can look at reviews and you can look at the little number that shows how many sales they have. A lot of times in this category, there's a service component that people are willing to pay for. $125. Your custom e-design includes a floor plan layout. People are so willing to pay for that when they realize they're going to be stuck in their home a little bit longer than they want it to be. Custom bathroom interior design mood board and shopping list. This is what people want. They want to know where to go, what to buy. They want the whole package. They don't know how to put things together, so they're they're willing to pay for someone to put it all together for them. This is a great B2B opportunity, selling contracts and proposal templates to other interior designers, 3D kitchen design. So if you're able to do 3D renderings, that's a huge opportunity. What I'm seeing here is there's a lot of room to have improved listing photos. There's opportunity here.